Hey, what's up guys? It's Zoe from Low Expectations and this is my short dungeon guide to Mythic Plaguefall in Shadowlands. I'll be going through each boss in detail and we'll be looking at some of the more important adds. This is a beta guide so it's subject to change, but it should look fairly similar to live. So let's get started. Plaguefall is a 4-boss dungeon in Maldraxxus at the southeast of the map. The 4 bosses in order are Globgrog, Dr. Ickus, Dominia Venomblade and Margrave Stradama. When you enter, you need to navigate any chosen path down and right to the first boss area. There are 2 giant fleshy heart creatures that patrol around, so plan when you want to pull them. Also, make sure you avoid the exploding mushrooms because you can get launched into more packs, and make sure you prepare your healing for the AoE Fungi Storm because it can hit you really hard. It's worth remembering that if you've chosen Necrolord as your covenant, you are able to use Fleshcraft on the corpses of slime mobs. This gives you bonus stats for 3 minutes. The Gushing Slime will give an AoE damage proc, the Congealed Slime will give a 5% damage reduction, and the Pestilent Slime will give 5% haste. Once you arrive at Globgrog, clear out the mobs and make sure you stop the oozes reaching the belchers, otherwise they heal. As with lots of pre-boss mobs, these mirror the mechanics of the boss itself. Engage Globgrog and tank him at the centre of the room. Your range want to be as close to the boss as possible, as he does a knockback called Plague Stomp. It leaves a disease which gives ticking damage and a slow, but certain healers can dispel this. He also does a targeted frontal cone you need to avoid called Slime Wave. It's fairly hard to move out of if you're super far away. After a short while on Mythic, he will summon a giant blob. You need to stop the blob before it reaches the boss. You can do this by either killing or CCing it. Once you finish Globgrog, continue out the back of the boss room and use the barrels to explode the trash. There are quite a few and they do some big damage, so don't stand next to them when they explode. You can vortex, mass root or stun these adds to keep them in place so that they get hit by the explosion. The sludge on the floor does a stacking debuff, so don't hang about in it. The next boss, Dr. Ickus, jumps between these 4 platforms before being engaged. Be careful not to pull him before clearing the trash on these platforms. You have about 13 seconds between the jumps. Do reset the boss if you accidentally pull him while clearing the room. Once you start, the boss will cast Slime Injection. Make sure your healer dispels this quickly. Dispelling it will spawn an erupting ooze that needs to be killed or stood on. If you stand on it, you take damage. If you let the cast go off, it damages the whole group. After a short time, he will jump away and summon a plague bomb that needs to be killed before it explodes. He also jumps around the platform like a madman, and when he lands, he does 4 lines outwards which you need to dodge. He'll also cast Pestilent Surge, which summons some congealed slime. The slime gives our unfriendlies a damage reduction within 7 yards, so move these slimes away from the bomb so you can kill it in time. The last move he does is Burning Strain. Interrupt this when you're done with the slimes. When you're on your way to the next boss, this giant slime guy summons a load of little blobs which cast Metamorphosis. Once you see these large arrows appear, you need to dodge the swirls and then run over every single blob. The route to the next boss is very strange, but you want to be aiming straight ahead to the left. Climb the pile of bones and go over the top. The next boss, Venomblade, can be tricky. The boss requires you to always be with a partner so you don't get web wrapped by solitary prey. When afflicted with Shadow Ambush, do not move out of the group until about 3 seconds before it expires. That way your group can quickly run onto you while you're stunned for 3 seconds to ensure you do not get wrapped. There are mobs around the boss room which are stealthed. When she casts Brood Assassins, you need to run to the floor patches as a group and find and kill the Brood Assassins. You can knock them out of stealth at range with an AoE ground effect. This boss is fairly simple but can hit pretty hard if you don't keep on top of the adds. After the boss, go into the building in front of you, drop down and be conservative with your pulls. The Plaguebound devoted absolutely slap your tank and there's not much room to kite. Make sure you kick the Ichor Bite Flesh and try not to pull aggro on the skeletons. Margrave's encounter revolves around running around the boss as tentacles slap the room, leaving only a few safe patches. She summons malignant spawns which need to be killed off, preferably before they cast Touch of Slime. The tank needs to soak the Touch of Slime and no other player. She will cast Plague Crash after a short while. You must move to the slice of the room where the tentacle gap is. She also casts Infectious Rain, where the whole party gets a nasty disease. If you can dispel it, make sure you do. There are certain patterns of Plague Crash which you need to anticipate. If only one tentacle appears, move near it. After she slams, it will become the only safe spot. If the tentacles spawn in a wave and you're near, quickly go further anti-clockwise than the first tentacle. If you're not near, move around the room ahead of the wave. If the tentacles are spaced, fit in the space, then sidestep after the slam. If 2 and 2 spawn, stand in the gap and then be prepared to move further to the next safe spot. Wherever a tentacle has just slammed is always safe next. At 66 and 33%, Margrave will summon a Plague-bound Devoted which will need to be kited by the tank and killed off. Under 33%, Margrave summons them endlessly. Once again, don't get aggro on these because if these adds melee you, they do serious damage. This boss requires really big healing and a lot of coordination. It is, however, really fun. Well done, you've completed Plaguefall. If there are any changes you've noticed, please just let me know in the comments. I thought these bosses were actually really creative and they kept me on my toes. Thank you for watching my guide and be sure to like and share, it really helps us out. You can find me on Twitch at 411 Games. I stream most evenings, so don't be shy to pop in and chat. If you'd like to see my other dungeon guides, there's a link on screen. I'll be making new dungeon guides each week, so if you'd like to be notified for the next one, do subscribe. Take care everyone, see you next time.